What's up YouTube, Bo here. I haven't recorded a video in a while. I kind of fizzled out on the Bluetooth headsets today, but I will definitely let you know if I find a better Bluetooth headset than what I've already discussed. Today we're switching topics and talking about digital watches, and specifically the quest to find a slim digital watch that is thin enough to fit under the cuff of a shirt sleeve of like a dress shirt. Now today I'm wearing a fishing shirt so that you can see the watch. I'm kind of a thin, lanky, well, I put on some weight in recent years, but traditionally my wrist, I'm kind of a thin wristed guy. And so these massive G-Shocks and these massive watches that are popular nowadays look ridiculous on my arm. So I've always struggled to find a man's watch that looks okay on my wrist. And then finding one that will fit under the cuff of a shirt sleeve. A lot of people don't care. They proudly wear their watch on the outside of their shirt sleeve. But if you are like me and you insist on wearing a digital watch, because after all, they are lighter, more comfortable, more accurate, last longer, and Roger Moore wore them when he saved the, or James Bond wore them when he saved the planet many times in the 70s and 80s. Even though analog watches are more fashionable, digital watches are more practical and they're more cool and they're more functional. And if you grew up watching Roger Moore like I did, you or owned a G-Shock, that first G-Shock in the early 80s, then you understand the appeal of digital watches. So anyway, okay, I'm going to share with you what I found. This is a Casio G-Shock GW056A. There are no other letters after that. I know I've seen this watch with additional letters, but the last letter I've got is A, module 3016, module 3016. This is my favorite watch. This is supposedly the slimmest G-Shock ever made. And something about it, even though the watch itself is as thin as a regular watch, it's still got that G-Shock band, and it doesn't fit under the cuffs of many dress shirts. So while I love this watch, it is still not the home run. And this watch, I don't think they make it now. I'm guessing this watch is over 10 years old. So anyway, this is an awesome watch, but I'm just kind of using this as the basis as I go through these other watches. So, hey, all right, so to tell you the truth, I do wear a mechanical watch when I really need to, but my everyday watch is generally a digital watch for the reasons I mentioned. So all the watches we're talking about from here forward, we're talking 20 bucks. 20 bucks or less price range. So type thing you take on vacation, and if you lose it or it gets stolen, it's, you know, no big deal. So this watch is the AE-1200WH. This is a relatively new watch, and the reason why I'm standing back is to kind of, you know, a lot of guys unbox it and they show you what it looks like close, but you don't get a perspective. So I'm trying to show you what the watch, I'm trying to give you some perspective and not show you what it actually looks like if you were a person looking at the thin wrist guy across the room like you would in real life. So anyway, this is a relatively new watch. I am going to record another audio that talks about this one in detail and goes over the functions and all that stuff. But as you can see, I would say in thickness, it's as thick or thicker than the G-Shock I just had. Now, even though that's the slimmest G-Shock ever, this watch is pretty, you know, pretty hefty. So the big wrist guys, it's going to be nothing. I mean, it's smaller than most G-Shocks, obviously, but It is, as far as the shirt sleeve test, it fails it. It's too thick, too big. I'll let you look at the watch before I switch to the next one. It's a cool watch, but it's thick. Alright, the next watch is the W-800H module 3240. This is a really cool watch. So hopefully you've got a perspective there. The display on it is crisp. I don't know if you can tell, but it's not e-ink. It's old regular digital watch, but for some reason it's crisper than any digital watch I've seen before. It's not particularly thin, but it does, for some reason, it fits under my shirt sleeves, shirt cuffs, when others do not. And I think it has something to do with the band I was talking about earlier. Even though the actual watch is thicker, I don't know how to explain it. The band is thinner. So there's less going on here, like in my G-Shock. So the reason why this doesn't work for me, I wore this for a long time, but the reason why I've moved on from this is this does not have a countdown timer. And so if that's not important to you, I'd say go for it. It's a no-brainer for the price. If the countdown timer is important to you, then you got to keep looking. Alright, the next watch is the first watch that's not a Casio. It's the only watch that's not a Casio. I like Casio. I tried Timex one time, and for whatever reason, I couldn't make the transition from from Casio to Timex. But anyway, I tried once again with this brand. This is a Converse watch, VR005. I don't know if they make it anymore. I mean, I only got it a year ago, so I would assume there's still some out there. I found it when I was doing a search for slim digital watches. As you can see, it's very slim. And I've gotten compliments on this watch, so that is, very strange to have a digital watch where people say that's a cool looking digital watch, especially females. The problem is this watch is a piece of shit. It's a pain in the neck to set. The instructions, I'm somewhat technically proficient, and I've never been able to use this watch regularly. It makes me sick because it's a great idea that failed on execution. Like if Casio would shamelessly copy this design, it would be awesome. But Converse came out with something that looks fashionable that the insides just don't work right as far as I'm concerned.